commercial vehicle space on the back of cost effectiveness, sustainable solutions, and increasing support from the state and the central governments. I am Venu, and I have with me Dr. Dave Mukherji, Managing Director, Omega Seiki Mobility. He is going to share his views on the EV market in general and Seiki Mobility in particular. Welcome to IndiGlobal Talk, sir.
Thank you, Venu. It's a pleasure to be here talking to you. As far as EV market is concerned, we all know that India is transiting very rapidly on the electric vehicle space. Primarily, the driver is government policies and other incentives are today pushing the demand, creating this demand, incentivizing the customer, etc. So that's the demand side, which is currently very, very positive. On the supply side, also government has come up with the FAME 2 subsidy, PLI schemes, etc. So, but a large supply chain like this takes time to set up, and many of the traditional tier 1, tier 2 suppliers, etc., will take some time to figure out their individual business models and come into the EV space. So supply chain will take some time, but the demand is there, and we are seeing a huge pull from the market on the commercial vehicle side in all the form factors of two-wheeler, three-wheeler, and trucks. Two and three-wheelers, particularly the last mile e-commerce mobility, e-commerce business, etc., are the major drivers. For two-wheeler, for example, the food delivery companies, they utilize a lot of them. For three-wheelers, last mile delivery by the e-commerce is a great market. And now we are seeing the industry is moving towards the above 1 ton payload space, which is typically the intercity as well as intracity for several segments other than the e-commerce. So which is what we call the mid-mile segment, roughly about 200 kilometers a day. So that's the kind of mobility we are now watching, for the electric trucks. And this is where OSM is now entering the electric truck space. We are ready with our vehicle of 1 ton payload as well as 3 ton payload. And these have been developed, homologated, etc., along with our technology partners from Thailand and Korea. And we are now ready to upgrade to the next level from two and three wheelers. Now we are going into the four-wheel pickup truck space. And these trucks are already here in India, and now we are testing them with various customers.
And could you please just take us through the various products briefly?
For Omega?
Yes.
Omega is a completely integrated business model. We have as far as the form factors are concerned, we are in two-wheelers, which are the scooters. We are working on a motorcycle as well. Then three-wheeler, both cargo as well as passenger is our main product. And L5 as well as LT category. And now we are coming up with these trucks in the 1 ton payload as well as 3 ton payload segment. So we have these three categories: two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler, and everything is electric. Everything is powered by lithium-ion batteries. And on the supply chain side, I would like to highlight that we are probably the only company having our own supply chain of powertrains and batteries. For batteries, we are going to announce a very large joint venture very soon. Motors and powertrains, we already have JV with various Korean partners, and we are going to do these critical parts in-house.
So we always, when we talk about OSM, we talk about last mile connectivity. Can you please, tell us a little more about this?
You see, the application of these three-wheelers and two-wheelers happened in the last mile, wherein the companies like e-commerce companies and several other food sector, for example, they saw value being created. There is a huge economic benefit using the three-wheeler and two-wheeler, the electric two-wheeler, three-wheeler. So it's a in anybody's mind that if you have the electric three-wheeler or electric two-wheeler at roughly about the same price as a IC engine, then when the running cost is about 1/10 of the diesel fuel, why wouldn't you go for electric? So it's a no-brainer. So this is where the whole traction came. Unfortunately, in India, the transition started with the low-end Chinese low-quality vehicles. Okay, now I believe that that phase is over, and now industry is looking for a really good quality, robust vehicle, and that is where companies like OSM come in. We are not competing at that ultra low-end segment of cheap Chinese kits, etc. Everything we do is made in India, designed and developed and made in-house, and that is how we are able to guarantee long life of the vehicle, robust vehicle, etc. And we deploy the vehicles in our own fleet as well. Our own last mile mobility is today the largest in electric last mile. So we are largest player with several leading e-commerce companies, and our vehicles are run by our own operations staff, our own charging stations, our own people, drivers, etc. And we this way we are able to give a full solution to our customer: manufacturing, mobility, charging, even financing. So it's a complete package to our customer. So
package.
he doesn't have to deal with multiple agencies. And that is how we add value, we create value for our customers.
Which are the major states that you all are present in, and which are the states where you need to make a entry?
See, today we have 140 dealership across India, and these are around 20 states, and we are going to cover more. Our major focus has been South and Delhi NCR. As you know, these are two big users of last mile
Okay.
mobility. So our focus has been in these regions like the South states of Karnataka, Andhra, Telangana, and Tamil Nadu, and Delhi NCR, which covers Delhi, Haryana, and these parts of UP. Now, our focus is going to be large focus is going on Uttar Pradesh, UP, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and also I would like to mention that we are looking at Northeast in a very
Right.
aggressive way. Very soon we
Yeah.
will announce some project. In fact, even manufacturing in Northeast, we are very bullish on Northeast. The way government is developing large
Yeah.
infrastructure, connectivity,
Right.
etc.
And the Northeast also have come
So
out
we are
with a
very,
specific EV policy where with lot of subsidies,
yes,
and uh, and uh,
absolutely. We
and the
find
government
that
also is
the,
very proactive. As a matter of
yes,
fact,
I
actually,
think
we are
first
in
time,
Guwahati at the moment, sir.
yeah, first
Yeah,
time,
please.
in this country after 75 years of independence, we are seeing the Northeast getting what it deserves in terms of connectivity, in terms of ecosystem creation, jobs creation, and a lot of attention being given by the government, which is absolutely right. And I feel that it has a huge potential because we have large young population, educated and disciplined. Unfortunately, Northeast has been feeding the other state the human resources. I think with all these developments happening, they don't
Especially
need
with
to
oil.
leave their,
Yeah,
yes, and they can get jobs. These are all high skilled jobs of manufacturing of electric vehicle,
right.
motors, electronics, etc. So we are very bullish on
And
Northeast.
and
So
in the
I think these
Northeast,
are
it
the,
is the main reason why the Northeast was lagging behind is because of the supply chain itself, sir. And since
it was a,
2021 November till date, 32,000 EV registrations have been clocked, and
absolutely,
you know,
and
so there's a huge potential in the
um,
Northeast.
unfortunately, post independence, Northeast never got the attention it deserves. It has been kind of more or less neglected region, and then lots of social unrest and all these things happened. So these are all interlinked, socio-economic issues. If you have economic development, if you have connectivity, if you have the infrastructure, why wouldn't people like to grow. Everybody likes growth, everybody likes to be happy and earn money for themselves. So I think this is the chance, and I am very, very positive that the next success story is going to be Northeast, and
Yeah.
we want to play a
And
part in that.
right, right, wonderful. And actually, we very closely work with the government of Assam, and we are also coming up with a conference shortly, sir. And in the recent, just a couple of weeks ago, I think it's 3 weeks ago, there was a survey with the Bloomberg people coming out with the survey which say they say that 52% of potential car buyers henceforth would either go for a hybrid or a plug and play kind of a model, and so we are going to see an exponential growth of vehicles. But are we ready with the infrastructure, sir? With the charging infrastructure? And in that
You see
context,
this. You see, this kind of exponential rapid growth, demands a very fast and large basic support infrastructure creation. What is happening, and we are seeing this first time in this country. I have never seen this kind of profound, significant impact in any industry. Okay, India has always played the catch up role for any technology, whether it was computers or it was cell phones. We always caught up with rest of the world after 10 years or so. In this case, this is the first time India is pretty much in sync with the other markets like Europe, US, and of course China is ahead, we all know. But I think the other rest of the world and India are pretty much synced, and in fact India is taking the lead in the sense that India is creating the infrastructure to manufacture the vehicles. Okay, where in Europe and all we don't see this kind of manufacturing initiative. Of course, they have their challenges, the inflation, energy costs, and lack of labor, etc. So I think what government is doing is absolutely correct. They are doing two things. Okay, one is the speed of change. It is exponentially growing, as you mentioned. Second is the scale of change. Okay, now you can have either. You can have a rapid quick transition but small quantities, or you can have a large quantity but over a long period of time, like we are used to seeing in India. We are not used to seeing these radical changes in India. Okay, we are all used to seeing small incremental improvements. But this is the time where India is really taking this initiative, and I am 100% sure that in next 5 to 10 years India can really become the EV country for the rest of the world. We can become a global hub for motor manufacturing, electronic parts manufacturing, even battery packs manufacturing. And something that we did not do in IC engine era. India doesn't export much as far as IC parts are concerned. The two big success countries in India, Japan and Korea, Maruti Suzuki, Hyundai, etc., they buy nothing from India. See, that can change with EV. So I think the whole ecosystem creation is the major initiative that government is taking. The answer to your question, whether India is going to be ready, yes, there are on ground challenges, as we all know. The central government policies, etc., they get stuck at various levels when it comes down to the state for implementation, and states have a large role to play. Particularly the land space allocation, electric lines allocation, etc., for the charging stations. So that needs to speed up. I think there should be a sort of a central monitoring agency like we have Gati Shakti. So under Gati Shakti, some sort of a
a
project
regulatory body.
monitoring should be
Huh.
created, so that we can roll out these charging stations very, very quickly. Otherwise, we know in many states things get stuck at various approvals, licenses, policy, etc., etc. So industrialists are not going to wait. They will go to some other state, which is so. What I'm saying is,
Yeah,
in order to have a complete pan India kind of rollout of this very significant technology, we need all states and all stakeholders to come together. The stakeholders are not only the state and the center. There are grid companies. Okay, there are various oil companies, for example. There are financing companies, banks, academia, researchers, they all have to come together. Then only this kind of exponential growth and the scale and speed that we are talking will take place. So as far
Yeah,
as
maybe.
OSM is concerned, we are
Yeah,
doing
please come.
charging our own. We are doing logistics. As I said, we are doing manufacturing and multiple states manufacturing. That's what we are going to do. We are going to set up small, manufacturing hubs. So it's going to be essentially an hub and spoke model, as well as micro factory model. So it's going to be a combination of various manufacturing strategies that we are doing. We are also tying up with partners for setting up the charging infrastructure.
So, is it true
Yeah.
that the grapevine says that OSM is also coming up with an electric tractor?
Yes, I would substantiate that. I personally, I feel that agriculture is something which is ripe for disruption as a whole sector, the entire value chain. As you know, it is the largest employer in this country, the entire supply chain, entire food chain, farm to fork that we call. But it is also hugely disorganized, unorganized sector, and there are various inefficiencies at every level, right from farming, use of fertilizers, use of the other. For example, farm mechanization is very, very low in India. An RBI report says that Indian farm mechanization level is just 4%. So Indian the land holdings are small. The average land holding is less than 1 hectare.
Fragmented
Farm,
holdings.
85% of the farming land holding is less than hectare. So you don't need some 50 HP tractor to a guy who owns a few acres of land. So this is where we identified that India will need a small farm mechanization, and not necessarily a tractor. Electrically driven, equipments, implements, which could be a combination of tractor, even drone. We are already working on drones, which are charged by our electric vehicles. We have a patent on that technology, and these drones are used for the data mapping, as well as the pesticides usage. And it's a huge benefit to the farmer in terms of economic benefit, using less labor, etc. And we will come out with a small, easy to handle, easy to use, and very, very cost effective tractor. So essentially, the way we are packaging it is a farming as a service. So this will include tractors, it will include farm mechanization, it will include drones, and it will include this charging, augmented by solar panels. So a farmer doesn't need to travel, 200 kilometers in a day. So his usage of tractor is limited in a day. We have identified these problems for the farmer, and then we have come up with a bespoke solution for him, okay, which is economic, easy to manage, and technically, sound solution.
Right. And
Yeah.
regarding this farmers' purchasing ability, because as you yourself have said that there's fragmented land holdings in India, so will there be some kind of an hand holding where finances are concerned, some tie-ups or
Of
something?
course. Of course, when we started the three wheeler, and even today, the banks are very reluctant to finance even the three wheelers, and two wheelers, electric three wheelers. So to overcome this, in 2018 itself, we started our own NBFC. We have a non-banking financing company of our own group, so we finance our vehicles as well. So we are there, and we are not waiting for somebody to come and make the money away. Of course we welcome, but we want to prove this to the banking sector, financing sector, that hey, this is a proven technology. You do not have asset side risk, and I am underwriting that risk, being the manufacturer and being the service provider to the farmer. So you don't have any risk, okay? And actually what you are missing out is a huge few $1 billion of opportunity to finance these. So up to them, if they are interested, they will come. But we will go on our own path. We will include this product in our NBFC to finance these tractors and other farm equipment, drones, etc., to make it viable for the farmer.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving your time. And
No
and the
problem.
same breath, I would like to also invite you, sir, on the 24th and 25th of February, we are having a mega summit in Assam. IndiGlobal is co-hosting this with the government of Assam, and we have a special panel discussion on EV.
It will be a pleasure.
I will
I
definitely, we will get in touch with
definitely come.
you, and our
Thank you,
editor
sir.
in chief, Mr. Sudhir, also will be